I mean, isn't it about time for us to make something of ourselves? Didn't we have a plan when we first moved out here and left everything behind? Except for each other? You were gonna be a big-time movie star, and I'd get famous for throwing my shillelagh straight through the livestock. We were gonna be the Bonnie and Clyde of the avant-garde scene. Come in, take the money and run. Except we don't run. We stick around to enjoy the adulation of our lessers. I'm not sure exactly which ingredient of this souffle fell flat. Might have left out the baking soda. I've never made a souffle. I don't know if that's a thing. But it's just not coming together here. And we've got two options. Option number one is grouse. Sit here and whine about all the forces entrenched and arrayed against the little man and the little lady. If you don't have an uncle who works at the studio who's got some dirt on the farmer, then you're not gonna... But is this really productive? Is this who we want it to turn into? Gripping tight to my one loose rib, this speaks to me when you're asleep but I'm not asleep yet. I feel the vibrations of its tinny, marrow-choked voice, gurgling, "Mama's too early for quitting." And I'm like, early? Early? We've been at this, we've put in the work. I didn't even have a shillelagh. But you know what? While I still have a rotator cuff, and you still have a sense for dramatic irony and shoes that are far more yellow than any shoes they had back home because those bumpkins can't stomach the glamour of putting yourself out there on the stage called the town. All the gods applauding your saucy little walk as you approach the booth and say, "I'll take 2 of this." And then you pass a ticket back to me. My shoes are eggplant loafers. This isn't generally how people adorn themselves in a place that is a carnival. The other patrons are 11 at the max, but we're here enjoying it, taking it all in, soaking up what little this town has to offer us. And when we realized it wasn't enough, we moved out to gaudier pastures, where gold dust impregnates the mountains with a mineral richness that only certain brands of heavy cream can rival, with the ground-up rubies adorning and flavoring every curdle, billowing forth from the curd hose. Firefighters spraying cheese onto the burning buildings. Is it safe to do that? I haven't done the research, and neither have they. It smells delightful. That's innovation. But the funny thing about innovation is that people don't super care what you're innovating on, they just care that you're innovating, which means that innovation in and of itself is not innovative. Well, that's just nice little hog tie for the ambitious mind. Does this mean I have to revert to more traditional hunting? Go full-blown Encino Man? Graft a rock to a branch, hand-to-hand combat with a wolf that smelled the blood dripping out of my pinky nails. You know nails, nail infections that I get once in a while because of the small bees that climb up the side of our bed once or twice a year and just sneeze all over my cuticles, while a couple of them sharpen their stingers in the back. Some of the stinger chunks getting lodged deeper, like behind the cuticles, like the proto-cuticles, like the skin. It's like the veins. The veins themselves become corrupted, varicose, boiling with necrotic sap, like a tree. Like I'm a tree now, like the seed has been planted and the growth has overtaken what once was me. And that's fresh. And I think a lot of these farm studios, if I can get an audition and they're like, "What can you bring to the table? What makes you a star?" I'll be like, "Hey, I'm an evil tree made of bee mucus, bitch. Watch me throw this shillelagh." Then they make a movie about me because I have changed what life on Earth means to the people. You star as yourself. They'll cast somebody else to play me. I'm no good with the drama. But now it's a symbiotic relationship. Fame feeding fame. And when my tree has bubbled out its last glob of satanic maple to drip onto the soil and birth one final gremlin who will flap its rudimentary vestigial gargoyle wings and say, "Oh, off to work," and then jump real high into the sky and headbutt away a star to make the constellations slightly uglier and steal just a little bit more beauty from the night. What you and I have made will still be here. My trail of shillelagh'd up horses and your dense filmography of both blockbuster superhero flicks and art house madness, they will replace the stars and bring the glamour back into a world that's trying its damnedest to suck all the magic out of being here. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it right. It's gonna be like the golden age all over again, except they're finding new metals all the time. Platinum's not even worth its weight in coughed up Tic Tacs slid down an old man's throat, but all of his flesh is sagged out so hard he can't even choke anymore. It just creates like a tiny second Adam's apple, slowly dissolving, and he'll never taste the orange flavoring, but he'll like smell it in his lungs. Bristles working their way out from inside of his skin. How did they get there? Life. That's how they got there. Life is constantly hiding little silica gel pouches of itching powder, so when you sit down funny, they pop open, and the burning, it's so localized at first until it diffuses out, and you think, see, this is how they get you. You think it's going away. What it's actually doing is just dispersing to live within you forevermore, rendered infinitesimal by its diffusion, but simultaneously worsening everything by just like 0.25%. And it's not just the human body or the oxen body that does this. It's the very universe itself. Scientists tell you entropy is like, decreasing energy. Everybody watch out for that heat death. No, entropy is the gradual buildup of a thorny residue created by the continual burning of time gasoline in the furnace that they use to make the universe run. They used to have a chimney sweep for that, but then time jail outlawed child labor. He had to take his horned candy cane and go plodding the mountainside, looking for a place to settle down until he's old enough. But if nobody's breathing the time fumes, how's he gonna age? So as this filthy cosmic soot gathers in the pores of a dead god, who died not from old age, and not from time smoke inhalation, but friggin' get this, from the Tic Tac. Well, what are we even supposed to do anymore? We're basically a bunch of mushrooms growing out of a corpse. What can we do to pretty this place up? To which I say, baby, mushrooms can be beautiful. Have you seen some of this Mario fan art?